What if the version of you watching this video isn't the full you? What if the person you call me is only the surface, the visible layer, while something much deeper is hidden underneath? Because if you've ever felt like you were more than your name, more than your thoughts, more than your daily routine, you're not imagining it. You might be sensing something real. There's a quiet feeling many people carry but never speak about. A feeling that life is somehow staged, like you're participating in reality, but also watching it. Like your body is here, but your awareness is somewhere slightly beyond it. And you try to ignore it because the world doesn't reward people who question reality. It rewards people who obey it. But deep down, you've always known this can't be all there is. And here's the strange part. That feeling isn't just spiritual, it's also scientific. Because when you go deep into quantum physics, reality stops behaving like something solid. At the smallest level of existence, particles don't act like fixed objects. They behave like waves of probability, like they exist in multiple states at once. And only when they are observed do they collapse into one reality. This is called the observer effect, and it's one of the most unsettling discoveries in modern science, because it suggests that reality is not fully real until consciousness interacts with it, meaning the universe may not be something you are simply living inside of. It may be something you are actively participating in. So the question becomes, who is the observer? Is it your brain, your personality, your memories, or is it something deeper, something using your brain as a tool? Neuroscience has studied the brain for decades. Scientists can measure brain waves, map emotions, track memory activity. But there's one thing they still cannot locate: the place where you actually exist. They can find electrical signals, but not the experience itself. They can find neurons firing, but not the feeling of being alive. This is what philosophers call the hard problem of consciousness. And it's the reason consciousness still feels like a mystery, even in an advanced scientific world. And this leads to a possibility that sounds spiritual, but is surprisingly logical. What if the brain doesn't create consciousness? What if it receives it? Like a radio. A radio doesn't produce music. It tunes into frequencies that already exist. If the radio breaks, the music doesn't disappear. The receiver is damaged, not the signal. So what if your brain is not the generator of awareness, but the receiver of a higher awareness? This is exactly what ancient traditions have been saying for thousands of years. Hindu philosophy teaches that the self you think you are is not your real identity. Buddhism says the self is an illusion, a mental construction. Sufism says the soul is a fragment of the divine. Even mystical Christianity speaks of awakening into a higher truth. Different languages, same message. The human self is not the full self. Now let's go even deeper, because quantum physics doesn't just challenge matter, it challenges dimensions. You've probably heard of string theory, the idea that everything is made of tiny vibrating strings rather than solid particles. But what most people don't realize is this: string theory only works mathematically if the universe has more dimensions than the ones we can perceive. Not 4 dimensions, but 10 or 11. This is where M theory comes in. M theory suggests that reality may have 11 dimensions, 11 layers of existence, 11 levels of structure beyond what your eyes and brain can process. And if that's true, then what you call reality might be a small slice of something unimaginably larger. Like a shadow. Imagine a 2D creature living on a sheet of paper. That creature can only move left and right, forward and backward. It has no understanding of height. So if you place a 3D sphere through its world, the creature wouldn't see a sphere. It would see a circle that appears, grows, shrinks, and disappears. The 2D creature would think reality is acting strange. But reality isn't strange. Its perception is limited. Now apply that to you. What if you are the 2D creature and higher dimensions are the sphere? What if your life is a cross-section of a much larger version of you? What if your consciousness exists beyond time, and this lifetime is only one small slice of what you truly are? That would explain something you've probably felt before, the feeling of incompleteness. Like you're not fully here, like part of you is missing, like you're living a smaller version of yourself. And what if your strange experiences aren't random? What if they are glimpses of your higher dimensional existence? Think about dreams. Dreams are one of the most mysterious parts of human life. In dreams, time collapses. You can experience years in one night. You can meet someone you've never seen, but feel like you've known them forever. You can visit places that don't exist, yet feel more real than waking life. Why? Because dreams might not be meaningless. Dreams might be your consciousness loosening its grip on 3D rules. In waking life, you are trapped inside linear time, past, present, future. But in dreams, you enter a realm where time is fluid. And if higher dimensions exist beyond linear time, dreams may be the closest thing you have to experiencing them. This is why ancient mystics called dreams doorways. And then there's intuition, that deep knowing you can't explain, that gut feeling that warns you, that inner voice that whispers, "Don't trust this" or "Go this way," even when logic doesn't understand. What if intuition isn't irrational? What if it's information from beyond space-time? Because if higher dimensions contain more information than we can see, then intuition may be the mind receiving signals from a wider field, not guessing. Remembering. This also explains déjà vu, that eerie feeling that you've been here before, that you've lived this moment already, that time is looping. Most people ignore it. But what if déjà vu is a glitch in the timeline? A moment where your awareness touches a version of reality that already exists. Because if time is not linear in higher dimensions, then the future might not be ahead. It might be already present, and your consciousness might be brushing against it. Now here's the part that becomes deeply personal. If you're still watching this, it's probably because you've had moments that didn't fit the normal world. Moments where reality felt thin, moments where you questioned your identity, moments where you felt like you were waking up from a dream. And awakening is not what people think. Awakening isn't about becoming someone new. It's about remembering who you were before the world programmed you. It's the moment you realize you are not your thoughts, you are not your fear, you are not your past, you are not your labels, you are the awareness behind all of it. And this is why awakening can feel uncomfortable. Because your ego is built for survival in a limited world. It wants control, it wants certainty, it wants identity. But the higher self doesn't need control. It exists beyond fear. So the ego panics. This is why awakened people often go through a phase of detachment. They feel like they don't fit anymore. Normal conversations feel shallow. Normal routines feel empty. They may even feel lonely, not because they hate people, but because they can't unsee the illusion. Once you see it, you can't go back. But you also can't escape life completely, because you are still here. Still human, still living in the physical world. So what do? You integrate. You learn to live in this world while knowing you are not fully of it. And now we reach the most powerful concept of all, non-duality. Non-duality is the idea that separation is an illusion, that there is no true division between you and the universe, that everything is one consciousness experiencing itself through different forms. And here's the shocking part. Physics is starting to echo this. Quantum entanglement shows that two particles can become connected so deeply that distance doesn't matter. Change one, and the other changes instantly, even if they are light years apart. Instantly. No delay. That breaks the normal rules of reality. It suggests that at the deepest level, the universe is not made of separate parts. It's made of one connected field. Now imagine what that means for consciousness. If matter is connected, consciousness may be connected too. Meaning your mind may not be confined to your skull, your soul may not be confined to your body, your identity may not be confined to this lifetime. You may be a node in a vast network of awareness, and in higher dimensions that network may be fully visible. That would explain why spiritually awakened people begin to change. They stop seeing others as others. They become more sensitive, more intuitive, more compassionate. They begin to feel energy, not just words. Because at a deeper level, Everything is you. So what does it mean when we say, you already exist in the 11th dimension? It doesn't mean you are floating in a sci-fi universe. It means the deepest version of you may exist outside time. It means your soul may already be whole. And this life is one expression of it. It means you are not becoming, you are remembering. And this is why manifestation works. Not because you are forcing the universe, but because you are aligning with a timeline that already exists. If higher dimensions contain infinite possibilities, then manifestation is not creating from nothing. It's selecting. It's tuning. It's shifting. Your beliefs are not just thoughts, they are frequencies. And those frequencies pull you towards certain realities. When you live in fear, you tune into fear-based timelines. When you live in love, you tune into love-based timelines. When you live in abundance, you tune into abundance-based timelines. This is why your inner world is not separate from your outer world. Your inner world is the doorway. And that's the final truth. The reason this message feels intense isn't because it's new information. It's because it feels like recognition. Something inside you already knew this. That's why it feels familiar. Because the higher self doesn't learn the way the ego does. It remembers. So the next time you have a dream that feels too real, the next time you feel déjà vu, the next time your intuition speaks louder than logic, don't ignore it. That might be the rest of you. Calling. Because you're not trying to reach a higher dimension. You're trying to remember that you never left it. And once you truly see that, everything changes. Not on the outside, but inside. And that's where reality begins.